Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to integrate SwiftData with Expo React Native. So in case if you don't know what SwiftData is, it is basically like SQLite. It is an alternative to core data. So core data was very verbose. SwiftData makes it very swifty, like we have to write less boilerplate code with SwiftData, so that's the advantage of it. Also SwiftData is only for iOS or Apple platforms, so you can't really use this for Android. So let's get started. So firstly we will have to create an Expo React Native project. You will have to decide a template. I will be using this blank TypeScript template to create a project, so I will just use this particular command, but feel free to use whatever template you want. The reason I am using this blank TypeScript template is because it creates less boilerplate code and it has TypeScript support as well. So I will just give my app name as my app. You can give it whatever name you feel like. Now it will create one project for us. I will just open that inside VS Code. So here is our project. Okay, now as you can see over here, so firstly we'll have to create an iOS folder, because as you can see we'll have to write some native code, as there is no third-party library directly available for integrating SwiftData, at least at the time of me recording this video. And I will keep things simple. So basically we will be performing a CRUD operation, but you can do complex things with SwiftData as well. So first we will have to go to this particular URL. So I'll just open that. Then here I will have to select iOS device. Okay, here I have to select development build. Here I have disabled EAS. Then I have already installed Xcode as well, and I have already installed command line tools as well. I have already installed Watchman as well. Given that this is iOS only tutorial, I am not doing it for Android. Then we'll have to copy this particular command. I will go to my terminal, I will cd to my app, and I'll just paste this command. So again it will install some npm dependencies for us, so let it do its own thing. Once that is done, we'll have to copy this particular command. So this will actually create the iOS folder for us. And also so firstly I'll just paste this command. So first it will ask me for my bundle identifier. I'll keep things simple. I'll just click enter, but if you want you can change the bundle identifier as well. Now again this will take little bit of time, so be patient. So once the CocoaPod installation setup is done, okay, I will have to run. We'll have to go first. You can go to this particular URL. So we'll have to create a native module. Okay, so for this, if you want you can go through this documentation. I won't go through the documentation. First we'll have to copy this command, but we'll have to wait for this CocoaPod installation to be completed. Once that is done, I'll come back. Okay, so once CocoaPod installation is done, I see something like this. I don't want to run my app on my device yet, so I'll just do Ctrl+C. Then I will just copy this particular command and I will paste it over here. So it will ask me some few questions like what should be my module name and all that. I'll just keep everything as default and just click on enter. Let's just wait for this. So I'll just click on enter, and it has created all the native modules for us, a native module for us. Then we'll also, what we'll have to do is we'll again have to run this particular command, because we need to do the pod installation for the for this module which we have created. So we have to again run this particular command, let it run. So this will again take little bit of time to do CocoaPod installation. Then you will have to go to app.tsx. Okay, so the next thing which we have to do is, now I have created one practice project just for my own sake before recording this video, so that I can copy paste video. It's very difficult for me to remember this code. So I'll just open the app.tsx from my practice project. I'll copy it, then I'll explain it to you what exactly I'm doing. I'm just replace this over here. Okay, so first if you see, I'm importing flat list, text input, touchable opacity from React Native. Then here you can see we'll have to create this method called create, read, update, delete. That's what we want to do, right, inside our SwiftData. Don't write delete over here, because delete is a reserved keyword. That's why I have to write delete value. So we'll have to create this for method inside our my module folder. I'll come back to that later on. and we already have this add change listener when we create this Expo module. So with the help of that, anytime I want to read data from native iOS Swift data, I will just call this add change listener. So if you see over here, I am calling it inside use effect, and whenever I read data, it will be an array of custom object, right, or custom struct, like a model. What I'm doing is that I have kept the model extremely simple, so I will just sending some name from React Native side. That name would be populated in Swift data. So suppose there are 10 names, I'm stringifying it on Swift side, then sending it as a string on React Native side, and here you can see then I'm just doing JSON parse over here so that I can get it in a form of string array. So this will store the list of all data which is stored inside Swift data, and here this on change text is only for text input. So whatever you type inside text input and click on the create button, that will be stored inside Swift data. So hopefully you got the point. So here you can see this is my text input. Whatever you save inside over here, then here I have this button for creating, okay, for creating data inside or inserting data inside Swift data. So I'm calling the create method and passing whatever you have typed. Then this is for reading the data. So as soon as you call on read, the Swift data will send you data over here, and I'm assigning it over set names. Then this is for updating. So suppose I want to update some text with this particular thing, new hello. Now I have hard coded it over here. You don't have to hard code, you can maybe get it from somewhere else, or maybe you create a separate text input for it. So that logic you depend. So suppose I already have some text called hello inside Swift data. I will type hello inside my text input. Now I want to replace it with new hello. Okay, so this is your old text which you want to get replaced with. This is your new text which will replace the old text. Again, sorry, I have hard coded it, but this is fine. So this is for update and this is for deleting. So whatever you have typed inside Swift data, that will get deleted as long as it is already present inside Swift data. Same goes for update as well. And once we have data inside our names state array, I'm just displaying it inside our flat list. So here I have just created a simple text item. So hopefully you got the point. Next we'll have to create these 4 methods, right? So again, I'll just go to my sample project which I have created. I'll go to modules, my modules, index.ts. okay, and what you will have to do is you will have to go to your module, my module. You will have to go to index.ts, and here we will have to write those 4 methods. Again, I'll just copy paste it just for simplicity's sake. We'll have to just copy paste all these 4 methods, and I will just have to paste it over here. So here you can see we are creating a create method. We take some value, and this particular thing will have to create it on native iOS side. Similarly for read, similarly for delete. Here read does not have a return type because we are using the event listener, change event listener, so to send data back. And this is for delete value, okay, and this is for updating. Again, like I told, delete is a reserved keyword, that's why I can't use it directly over here. Then if you see inside src my modules.types.ts, here you can see the event listener have a param called value. That's why I'm using it over here as well. So whatever, in case if you want to change it, you can change it, but it is by default present when we create an Expo module. That's why I'm not changing it over here, just for simplicity's sake. So this is done. Now we'll have to write the actual implementation for all these 4 methods. So to write the actual implementation, you will have to go to your project. So this is my project, right? Go to iOS and double click on this XE workspace. It will open it inside Xcode. Do not create, so I will be creating few files. Do not create this file directly from VS Code, because when we create file from Xcode, we need to give some target identifier, some target which Xcode automatically handles it for us, but VS Code won't handle it for you. So it's better you write it inside Xcode only. So first you will have to open pods, go to development pod, and here you will have to search for my module. That's the pod which native module which we create, right? So first, again, I'll just go to my practice project. I'll go to modules, my module, iOS. So first we'll have to create this to-do model.swift file. So this is basically kind of like a table. Also Swift data is only available from iOS 17 and above. So the first thing we can do is just go to your app, and here inside target select iOS 17. So that's the minimum that is required. Okay, then we'll have to create this particular file, right? So I'll just copy this name. So just right click, new file from template, select Swift file, click next, and here you can just enter the name. And the important thing is, here you will have to scroll down, and here you have to make sure your module is checked. So this is the important thing. That's why I told you not to create it via VS Code. Maybe yes, sorry about the background noise. Maybe creating it from VS Code also will work, but I haven't checked because I don't want to run into unnecessary complications. So I'll just click on create now. Then I will just copy all this code and then I'll explain it to you. So I'll just paste it over here. So here you can see basically the primary key is our ID, so we don't need to pass the ID. Then it has task name as well as time. So here you can see that we are passing the ID. Task name we will send it from ReactNative side, and time will be automatically calculated on the native iOS side whenever you try to create a task. Okay, so don't worry about it. So I have kept things pretty simple. So this is basically kind of like a table which will be inside our SwiftData. Then again I'll come over here and I will just create this database service.swift file. I will just copy this. I will just right click, new file from template, select Swift file, click next, give name as database service, and here again you will have to check this my module checkbox and click on create. Okay, again I'll just copy all this code and I will just paste it over here. So again this is marked with iOS 17. This is kind of like a singleton database service. This is boilerplate code which you have to write. Even I don't understand it fully, but basically like if your app is initialized for the first time, then we need to create that particular SwiftData database for our application. That's what it does. If it is already created, then it does nothing. So that's what this particular code is. You can just copy paste it. Even I don't understand fully. Then I have created a method for save task. It takes a string, and here if this is just to check whether task name is null or not. If it is not null, then we just create this to do model. Here I am creating some UUID for our ID. This is our task name, and as you can see for time I am just giving inserting this particular time whenever you call this particular method, and just call insert over here. This is for fetching the task. So here you can see this is how you can fetch the task. This is for updating the task. So whatever task name you have called, I just called dot task name and pass the new task name, and this is for deleting the task. So pretty simple. Okay, then we'll have to go to our my module.swift file. Again I will just open this inside VS Code, my practice project. Firstly again we'll have to annotate it with iOS 17 at least. So I have just added over here. Then we have to add this service as well, these two things. So I'll explain it to you why we are doing this. So this is a singleton for our database service Swift file. This will hold an array of to do model when we try to read data, and then this particular thing is when we JSON stringify this particular thing, we need to send it back to ReactNative side, right? That's why I've created an array of string as well. Then we'll have to create those 4 methods which we have written. So I'll just copy paste it and then I'll explain it to you. So I'll just copy paste all this code. Okay, I'll go over here and I can just paste it below here. So the first one, I'll just improve the indentation a little. So first method is the create method. So again we basically call the save task method which is present inside our database service. For reading, I'm just removing all the existing items if there are any inside our 2 arrays. Then I just call fetch task, and if there is any data we just assign it to our task as well as to our src task. I'm just appending the task name. As you can see, if you want you can append this id as well as date, but that would get too complicated. That's why I've kept things simple. And once we have the data, I just JSON encode it, and with the help of this on change event which is already there, if you see this particular method which was created, this is how we send data, right? So I'm using the same thing, but here inside value I'm just passing my own data. For update, again the same thing, what is the old value, what is the updated title. So I'm finding the task with the old value first. If I find it, then I just update it. Similarly for delete as well, I find the task with that particular value which you have sent. If it is present, then I just call delete task. Here I'm not handling the error in a proper way. Maybe just like we are sending something like this, you can send another variable with the on change saying that there is an error. So I think that should be it. Yeah, now let's just run our application. So now again this will take little bit of time, so I will just edit this part out. Once the application is ready, I will show you guys the output. Okay guys, so here is the output, and I will just enter something inside my text input. So something like first, I'll click on create, then I will click on read, and here you can see first was created. Then I will just enter second, I'll click on create, I'll click on read again, and here you can see it created that as well. If I just reload my app, the data should be persisted. If I click on read again, and here you can see the data is persisted. If I just, now I want to update, right? So I want to update first with that new hello which we have hard coded for our button. So I'll just click on update. So the update has done. I'll click on read again, and here you can see it is showing new hello now. And suppose I want to delete the second one, so I'll just enter second, and I'll click on delete. So it is deleted. I'll click on read again, and here you can see it was deleted. So yeah, I can click on create again, okay, my simulator has hanged, I don't know why. I'll just refresh it. I'll click on read, I'll just click on second, I'll click on create again, I'll click on read, and here you can see the value is persisted. So this was our flat list. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.